Welcome to our little webcast on pregnancy exercises and exercises for labour. Just going to introduce you to everyone in the room. Myself, my name is Ed Paget, owner of the English Osteopaths in Calgary, and this is Laura, another osteopath who works with us, and Gillian, our pregnant model for today, and she is 5 weeks away from giving birth, so she's volunteered her time to come and have some exercises done with her and to take some stuff home for her husband. Okay, a common problem during pregnancy is tightness through the rib cage. When the baby moves up and starts expanding, the rib cage can take a little bit of time to adjust to that. So we're just going to do an exercise that shows you how to expand the rib cage through here. Now these exercises are for partners, so in this it's best that a husband or a partner of some description is helping you with these. You can't do them by yourself. So what I want you to do, Jenny, is just cross your hands for me. So I'm standing on her left hand side. I'm going to take my left hand and just pop it underneath her elbow and up onto the other side here. And when I pull with this hand, I can actually get a stretch through her ribs here. But if I put this hand onto her ribs, we can actually just hold one back and gently, gently just stretch through those ribs. And you do this in a kind of a rhythmical manner that changes the tension through the muscles that go in between the ribs. Now I'm just going to get her to move slightly so you can see what I'm doing with this hand. Just kind of face that before. Perfect. So this hand, if you imagine the ribs come down like this hand just fixes on those ribs and it starts at the bottom rib here, kind of rib 10. There's 12 ribs, but just rib 10 for the sake of this one. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and work your way out. And we just pull that towards me and just gently pushing down on those ribs and just hold that stretch for a second or two. Now there shouldn't be any pain or discomfort in this, and if there is, then I would advise stop doing that exercise. Another way to get a lower rib stretch is to stand behind your pregnant partner and grab hold of the opposite elbow with your hand here. So if you can see around here, my hand is grabbing hold of the elbow. And what I'm doing is I'm just putting a little bit of pressure on with my armpit to make her bend down to the left, so she's side bending to the left. And then with this hand, I'm holding back on those ribs again. So here we can see how the ribs are becoming wider apart, and I'm just holding a little bit of pressure there, and just gently, gently, gently easing those ribs apart. Sometimes it's nice for the lady to have just a little bit of a support on the lower back, so the lower back can be a little bit sore. So I just pop a little pillow in there, and just gently, gently lead them down to the left, hold that stretch for a second or two, then come back, and then move the hands slowly up through the ribs, and then back down through the ribs.
Okay, so I'm just going to start by taking Gillian through some exercises that she can do at home with her husband while she's actually in the early stages of labour. So the first exercise that we'll do is I'll actually get you swinging your legs right around, and then we'll use Ed here as the partner, so coming to the front. And then we just need you, Gillian, just to cross your arms across, perfect. And then Ed, just pop your hands up underneath there, that's it, and across and just onto the upper back. And then as Ed slowly starts to straighten up, head down onto the forearms, as Ed just gently starts to straighten up, Gillian will actually drop forward and the baby will drop forward down between Gillian's legs. This is best done with the legs slightly apart on the chair, and slid with her bottom slid as far forward on the chair as is comfortable. Both of Gillian's feet are quite firmly on the ground, which is also quite important, just to allow Gillian to feel stable and to ensure that she doesn't feel as though she's going to fall forward, or that we don't accidentally pull her off. This is a great exercise just to help in the early stages of labour, and just to give a nice stretch through the abdomen, and also really calming down through her nervous system and giving a nice rib stretch.
Great.
And next we're going to take you through some exercises that you can do again while you're in labour, and this time we're going to get you kneeling onto all fours. Again, Ed, I'll get you coming around to this side. And so the idea of this one is to pop some quite firm pressure down onto the sacrum or the tailbone. So as Julian's in this position and in labour, the husband can come on and place the heel of his hand on the base of the tailbone, and then place quite a firm pressure straight down through your arm, straight down onto the tailbone.
Okay.
From there, you can then gently rock backwards and forwards on the sacrum, creating a nice articulation through that area. As the baby passes down through the birth canal, the sacrum actually is required, or the tailbone is required, to go through a full range of movement. So this can be really nice to just start to get that movement occurring before the baby actually passes down through the pelvis.
Okay. Would I do this kneeling or standing, or both?
Depending on what's more comfortable for the father. Initially, he may feel comfortable in this position, but if we're labouring for a long time, it may be easier standing, and you can actually then place a little bit more pressure down through the arm using your body weight rather than your actual strength.
And how long do I do this for?
This can be done as long as it's comfortable for the mother. It's not something that can really cause any major harm, and normally mum, as she's labouring, will feel when she's had enough, and as with any labouring woman, you listen to what she has to say.
Okay.
Okay, and standing up. So this next exercise is very similar to the one that we just did on all fours, but this time it's actually against a wall. So this exercise is particularly good as we're getting further along in the labour, and particularly when mum is really starting to feel as though she's wanting to push, but the midwife or the doctor is saying that it's not a great time to do that. This can be a really good way of relieving some of the stress. So just turning and placing your hands on the wall, and then if we get Ed in behind here. So mum has both hands against the wall and one leg forward and the other back. We can then have the hand, again quite firmly against the tailbone, with the elbow tucked in nicely against Dad's side. So this allows for Dad to gently lean his body weight forward onto the sacrum, while at the same time as mum is relieving some of that tension by pushing against the wall, she's actually pushing back against the hand here. So this is quite good in that it stimulates part of the nervous system called the parasympathetic nervous system, which is located down around the tailbone. And the idea is that it's this nervous system that's designed to help open the cervix during labour. So by doing this exercise, it can actually help stimulate that nervous system and allow the cervix to open, and therefore allowing the baby to pass down through the birth canal.
Do I need to do any movements with my hand?
You can rock backwards and forwards, but often in this position it is much nicer and much easier to just place firm pressure straight through.
And does it matter which side I'm on?
No.
Okay.
Whatever's comfortable.
Yeah.
And again, none of these should cause any pain to our labouring mother, and it can be done right the way through the labour while it's tolerated.
Thanks very much for watching our webcast on pregnancy exercises and exercises during labour. We hope that you find these useful and that we can relieve some of the labour pains for birthing mothers. Any questions, give us an email, inquiries@theenglish.osteopath.com, and we'll try and get back to you as soon as we can. Take care.